The galaxy was still reeling from the collapse of the First Order. Systems across the Outer Rim were caught between freedom and lawlessness, leaving smugglers, pirates, and warlords to carve out their own dominions. Amid this fragile balance, the Republic struggled to maintain control, relying on small fleets and daring pilots to keep the peace. Starfighter squadrons became more than just military units. They were symbols of stability in a galaxy teetering on the edge of chaos. Veyra, a decorated starfighter pilot, found herself at a crossroads. Having survived countless battles, she was weary of endless wars yet unable to walk away from the cockpit. Her skills were unmatched, but her heart was torn between duty and the chance at a normal life. Rumors of a rising threat whispered across the systems, drawing her back into the heart of conflict she thought she had left behind. On a remote desert moon, an old Republic listening post intercepted encrypted transmissions. The messages spoke of a shadow fleet, gathering under the command of an unknown warlord with ties to the Sith. Kara was summoned back into active service, her expertise needed to decipher the patterns and lead reconnaissance. Reluctant but bound by loyalty, she accepted, knowing the galaxy's fragile peace was at stake. Her squadron was a mix of veterans and rookies, each carrying their own scars and ambitions. Jax Renn, a young hotshot pilot, idolized Kara but struggled with recklessness. Lyra Dane, the squadron's engineer, fought demons of her own after losing family to the First Order. Together, they were tasked with venturing into uncharted sectors, a mission both routine and perilous. Their first mission took them to the shattered remains of a battle station orbiting a dying star. The wreckage was haunted by silence, broken only by faint signals. As the squadron searched, they discovered wrecks bearing a strange insignia, a jagged star with crimson edges. The evidence pointed to something organized, something far more dangerous than scattered pirates. Back on Coruscant, Republic leaders debated whether to treat the threat as real or fabricated. Kara, hardened by years of experience, knew the galaxy had a way of underestimating dangers until it was too late. She pushed for immediate action, but political delays left her squadron to operate in the shadows. Their duty became clear. They would be the first and last line of defense until the Republic decided otherwise. Venturing deeper into the Outer Rim, the squadron encountered hostile patrols flying advanced starfighters unseen since the Clone Wars. These ships moved with precision, their tactics brutal and efficient. Kara barely escaped with her squad intact, shaken by the realization that the enemy wasn't testing them. It was preparing for war. The name whispered in intercepted comms chilled her: the Crimson Dominion. Jax, eager to prove himself, disobeyed orders during one skirmish and nearly cost a teammate's life. The squadron grew divided, morale fractured by doubt. Kara confronted Jax, not just as a commander but as someone who saw her younger self in his reckless hunger. She knew they needed unity, or none of them would survive what was coming. In the shadow of an asteroid belt, the squadron uncovered a massive shipyard hidden within. Hundreds of starfighters and cruisers were being constructed, overseen by masked overseers cloaked in crimson. Kara's heart sank. This wasn't a scattered threat, but a military force poised to strike. They transmitted the data back to the Republic, but jamming signals left them isolated. Forced to fight their way out, the squadron engaged in one of the fiercest battles they had ever faced. Explosions lit the void, metal debris tearing across the asteroids. Lyra's engineering brilliance saved their flagship when its engines failed mid-combat, but the cost was heavy. 2 pilots were lost, leaving the survivors shaken and determined. Back in the core, the Republic Senate was too divided to mobilize. Some dismissed the Crimson Dominion as exaggerated tales, while others feared provoking another war. Kara, frustrated by politics, chose to act alone with her squadron. They became renegades, willing to risk everything to stop the Dominion before its full power was unleashed. During a covert operation, Kara and her squad infiltrated a Dominion base disguised as smugglers. Inside, they discovered weapons powered by ancient Sith technology, crystals burning with unnatural energy. The Dominion's leader revealed himself through a broadcast, a mysterious commander known only as Lord Varik, his voice cold and commanding. His promise was clear: order through fire and blood. Lord Varik's strategy became apparent. Strike at the Republic's scattered fleets before they could unify. Kara knew they had to deliver proof to the Senate before it was too late. But Varik anticipated their move, sending hunters after them across multiple star systems. Every mission became a desperate chase, survival balanced on the edge of skill and luck. Jax's loyalty was tested when Dominion forces offered him freedom in exchange for betrayal. For a moment, he wavered, questioning if the Republic was worth dying for. But Kara's faith in him reminded him of the kind of pilot and person he wanted to be. His decision to stand with the squadron marked his true growth, binding them together. The squadron finally returned to Coruscant with undeniable evidence of the Dominion's fleet. This time, the Republic could no longer turn away. Mobilization began, but it was already too late. The Dominion launched a preemptive strike, targeting key star systems in a wave of coordinated assaults. War had arrived at the galaxy's doorstep once again. The Republic's forces clashed with the Dominion in a massive space battle above the planet Talvos Prime. Kara led the vanguard, weaving through fire and destruction. The battle tested every ounce of skill, every ounce of courage her squadron had left. Losses mounted on both sides, the outcome uncertain, the galaxy's fate hanging in the balance. Amid the chaos, Kara faced Lord Varik in his personal Starfighter. Their duel was more than combat. It was a clash of ideologies, of hope versus control. Kara's ship was damaged, systems failing, but she refused to give in. Using a daring maneuver through Talvos Prime's rings, she turned the tide, forcing Varik into retreat. The Dominion fleet scattered after their leader's retreat, but the war was far from over. The Republic celebrated a fragile victory, while Kara and her squadron mourned those they lost. For a brief moment, peace seemed possible, though everyone knew it was temporary. The galaxy was once again caught in the cycle of war and fragile hope. Kara stood with her surviving squad mates, staring out at the stars. They had become more than soldiers. They were guardians of the fragile flame of freedom. Their battles had scarred them, but also bound them together as family. Whatever came next, they would face it as one, their starfighters ready to rise again. As the credits of their story drew close, whispers lingered across the galaxy. Lord Varik had survived, his plans only delayed. In the shadows of forgotten worlds, the Crimson Dominion rebuilt in silence. And so, the promise of another war loomed, starfighter pilots destined to carry the burden of the galaxy's endless fight for survival.